back. My guest in this segment is Carol Mugerman. He is the CEO. How's your rhythm, Ed?
Jesus.
How about that juju?
How about the rhythm method?
Rhythm? Let's cut straight to the chase. How about that juju? Coming off a little bit today.
Well, you know what? I mean, look at the things had a meteoric rise. Mm-hmm. What really is wild to me is this Tilray.
Tilroy?
Tilroy, you and better than Tilray?
Tilroy's at touched 152 today.
Yeah.
That's kind of a mind blower. Do you own any of that?
No.
No?
No, I used to own it at 26.
You used to own Tilray at 26?
Yeah.
What'd you sell it for?
23.
Did somebody tell you to sell it?
23.
23?
Yeah, my little angel over here told me.
Wait, you bought it at 26 and you sold it at 23?
Yeah.
That sounds like
Ed.
That sounds like a great business model. Buy high and sell low.
No, buy low and sell lower.
Buy low and sell lower. That sounds like a losing proposition.
Anyway, you know, it's so easy in retrospect, eh?
What's that?
Like yesterday, I'm looking for a double top potentially, and I'm showing the candles, and I'm thinking. But I will say this: I did say there's a very good chance that I could be wrong.
So you weren't like, look at this, and you're not thinking, holy cow, am I ever full of shit?
It looked like a potential for a double top, and today they came up with some announcement.
What does a double top mean, Ed? Talk to me in English. I don't understand these complicated scientific terms.
If you look on a monthly chart, you'll see.
I'm going to pull one up if you're not careful.
Yeah, pull it up.
You want me to pull one up? I will. Don't try to stop me. I'm going to pull one up.
Pull it up.
Pull it up.
And I'll go through it.
Oh man, where is it?
Yeah.
Quote stream. Here we go.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy. Oh, I better turn on my. Ooh, I'm not even logged in here. Ooh, it's going to cause my computer on my desk to freeze. Ooh, wait, I got to put up the NDI so that we can share these lovely thoughts with the audience. Oh man, this is complicated. This is what I'm supposed to do before we get started. Okay, here we go. So we're going to pull up a advanced chart, and we're going to look at what company?
Tilray.
Tilroy. T-L.
Yeah. To us, it may be Tilray to the world, but it's Tilroy to us.
Now look at that chart, Ed. Is that not absolutely a thing of beauty?
Yeah.
Hello, control room. We're looking at a chart out here. Hello.
Yeah. Let's just put up the chart there, boys.
Yep, any minute now, we'll be looking at this chart.
Let's.
Oh, look at that.
So this is what I looked at yesterday. It gave me a little thought, maybe. Okay, here.
A little thought? Ed, that sounds like a
this?
dangerous thing.
Got a little tail here, or a big wick.
Big wick.
Big wick over here.
What?
But it looked like a potential, a little bit of symmetry. Today just blew right through. Yeah. So, you know what? Back to the drawing board.
Back to the drawing board. Technical analysis fails again?
Well...
Because if
look at and remember when you see this Bollinger Band widen, eventually they're going to narrow. But it may go to 200 first. It may go to 200 first.
It may go to 200 first. What do you think about that, Fraser?
I don't know. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Fraser says nay.
Fraser says nay. What do you think is going to go, Ed? Where do you think the reversal is going to happen? When does this sucker drop?
We won't know until the reversal happens. But one of the keys you want to see, look at, you got the RSI at 83, okay, and you got the thing through the band now. What's the last trade here? 149.94. Yeah, 150.
Huh, that's interesting, Fraser. Why did you do that?
Fraser.
He's getting double.
Has Fraser left the building?
Oh, interesting. I didn't even know it had a audio feature. Bizarre. Anyways.
Is that Harper's Bazaar?
Harper's Bazaar. Madness.
Okay.
So,
let's look at Juju today.
Well, the Juju? What did the do with Juju? You?
What did you do?
With the Juju. I still own the Juju, but I sold a little bit today.
I do.
Sold
you do.
Today. I'm going to be buying it, going to be selling it, going to be in, going to be out.
What about this one? I do, you do, we do, voodoo.
Voodoo. Voodoo. Ooh. Now voodoo, that's
look at this. Look at this action here. Look at. Yep. Through the band.
Big wick.
Way through the band, big wick. And look at it, pull back. Remember? 22.
Yeah.
And then see you later.
Ba-bam!
Boom!
To the moon!
And then look at this action. Now what are we? 34?
Yes.
So I mean, look. Could this pull back to 27, 28 and still be an upward trend? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, you buy it at 36, 37, and you see the thing going 30, 34, 33 and a half, you get a little nervous.
Traded 43 million shares the other day.
I know.
So
It's
got a bit of power.
It's got a bit of power, but boy, oh boy, a lot of profits have been made. A lot of people are up a lot of money on this.
Well, thanks to us. and of course, Steve and his team. But
there's nothing like a good, strong marketing engine, is there?
Nothing stronger than the power. Anyways, lots is moving in this market. You know, here's one that I was hearing about today was KBB. Now, this symbol has a near and dear place in my heart.
Yeah, no, I think I heard that somebody bamboozled you a bit.
Well, it's kind of not something we'll talk about in this context.
Okay.
We're going to have some fun with this one, the old KBB.
In other words, what goes around comes around.
Kind of. That's the way it is. That's the way it is in this world, isn't it?
Well,
I think they call that karmic repercussions. Would you call that a karmic repercussion?
A karmic repercussion. I can't even say it. Look, and Namaste here.
Namaste's back.
Now, you know what? Now, I will say today, our buddy boy in the States that writes for Citron.
Yeah,
he's got more egg on his face today.
Yeah, I know.
Yesterday, I said, well, let's see. The chrono's sucking the back. Today, it's up $2.5, $3 or some effing thing.
I thought that not drinking was going to have a cleansing effect on your choice of adjectives.
Somewhat of a cathartic event? A cathartic event?
I don't know.
I don't know. You know, this drinking thing, life becomes a lot more boring, there's no question. But it's also less difficult in the mornings. That's what I will say.
That's a good point. You probably live a little longer, too. So you know, Ed, we're going to do this show live. I'm going to be in Jamaica. You're going to be here on Thursday and Friday.
Okay. I'll be here.
Yeah, does that work for you?
I'll be right here.
Does that work for you?
I'll be right here talking to you.
And I'm going to be live from Jamaica. It's Saturday night. No.
Yeah, no, I can dig that.
Really?
I'll be here.
Awesome.
I'm here for you.
All right. I love it. I better transfer some funds.
Transfer some funds.
Okay, we'll be back right after this transfer.
I need to go make a withdrawal. I've been waiting to make a withdrawal. The machine says, come back later.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Let's get back to our universe of charts here.
Yeah.
All right. So look at this. I'm going
to be Mr. Control Man.
Now look at this. This large cap index. Now trading at 11 times capital return since January 1st, 2015.
Wow.
11 times capital. The second best performer. Whoa, the second best performer. Actually, the best performer is still the CSC Cannabis Index, having returned 21 times capital since January 1st, 2015.
This is
second best performer.
Yeah.
Is the small cap index. So those are all the Canadian listed companies between 105 million, 500 million market cap. Has returned 1,000, or rather has returned 12 times capital.
1,200.
Yeah.
1,250%.
But look at each of these indexes, everything's up today.
Yeah, everything.
And it's like, okay, so this is not the lingering effect of the rumor mill and the ACB Coca-Cola.
Now that you brought that up, I have to say, I thought the response today that I read about how they don't comment on rumors, wasn't the rumor perpetrated by the president of the company right on the Bloomberg?
By the president of?
Aurora.
No, I don't think it's, I would not want to categorize him as perpetuating.
No, okay, but didn't he say that they would make a good fit?
Well,
like I thought we saw that.
The whole episode of the CEO of Aurora appearing on the National Business Channel at 3 o'clock on the day of this rumor to talk about what a good partner they'd be. That struck me as extremely
leading.
Well, it was just, I just thought it was not a good confluence of circumstances given the fact that this rumor, bless you, Ed, could,
I am so sorry.
A lot of people bought a lot of stock on that rumor, and, at the end of the day.
And they were right.
Well, they're right, it was a rumor.
Look at this thing.
I know.
And Donnie, the day I couldn't make it because of whatever, extenuating circumstances, Didn't he say there was a reverse head and shoulder pattern? And I mean, to Downey's credit.
Well, there it is, right there.
You know what? To what's his name's credit, I meant.
Right. We're not supposed to make
soft.
to our mysterious alternative
host,
technical analyst.
Yeah, the analyst.
Yeah. So Namaste. Let's look at
Namaste here. Look at this thing. There was 247 on the Citron report, the lemon report, and look at this, $3 and change.
Yeah. Well, 303 trading at this hour, but
I tell you,
let's look at Aurora technically. So here's the interesting thing. This is the 3-month chart. Here's the rumor, right there.
Yeah.
And goes from 854 to touches a high of 1013 before dropping back to 998.
It hit the high today, 1099.
Now today, Coca-Cola issues a statement saying they have no relationship or intention to enter a relationship with any cannabis companies now or any foreseeable future. However, like many beverage companies, they are observing what's happening in the space. Coincident with that, Aurora puts out their piece saying that we don't comment on rumors. So, I mean...
So maybe they were just, like Terry was talking hypothetically, right? He was saying...
Well, here's what I think. I think some shareholder in Aurora thought it would be a good idea to start a rumor because they wanted the share price to go up, and they used the offices of that online news agency to exploit that opportunity, and the result is a higher price in Aurora.
Because regulators are looking out all the time for.
Well, that's just it. That's why.
You made that point a couple times.
I don't like to see management addressing the media when such rumors are in play, because that just lends a certain legitimacy to the rumor. You should just ignore it. You should say anything except, I don't comment on rumors, and we have no plans to merge with anyone.
So that's when you say, I don't know and I don't care.
All right, let's go see how our audience is doing here
today. I don't know why
Ed.
you and I seem to know the same songs. Like, what the hell were we doing when we were younger?
Well, I think we were basically listening to a lot of music and trying to learn it.
I can name that tune in 4 notes.
4 notes. Oh, that would be good to bring that back.
That was a good little name that tune.
Hey, Ed, you know who's here today? Justin B. Marshall, our correspondent from the Southwest.
At large?
He's at large. And here's his presentation of the day.
Take it away.
Take it away,
Justin.
Ed, and all our friends and fans around the world. Today we're here in beautiful Carmel by the Sea, California. We're here with Maxwell Wheeler from Poundstone Holdings. Maxwell is a trailblazer in the cannabis industry here in California, and he's making nationwide and international plays. Maxwell, one of my first questions for you today is, what's going on with the stringent testing process here in California? Why are so many people failing?
I really want to speak to Monterey County specifically on that. The Salinas Valley has had well, first of all, we've been putting pesticides down on conventional agriculture since the beginning, and so you're finding a lot of people who are suffering the drift into their greenhouses. In the early days, that was a very prevalent problem. I'd say now we are mostly through it because people have finally found ways to manage that. But most importantly is that technologies are coming to bear to mitigate this altogether and even remediate the plant itself once you've actually harvested.
Why are they failing? Is it from mold? Is it from pesticides? Is it a combination?
It's a combination thereof. The one small downside is if not properly managed, the humidity combined with the marine layer that comes into Monterey County, which is both a great thing and a bad thing for these crops, it does create the problem of mold quite frequently.
I agree. Now, with a positive pressure system in the greenhouse, you can mitigate the mold problem by burping the facility, and by keeping a control on the humidity in there, you could also keep control of the mold issues.
Absolutely.
With the pesticide issue coming from neighboring farms, with the positive pressure system, that could be avoided too?
It can be. A variety of soil enhancement technologies that rid that of the soil is one way to go about it. There's other technologies coming out of Colorado, coming out of the Bay Area, et cetera, that are being implemented to remediate the actual plant post-processing or during processing.
Excellent. Let's talk about some of the other counties in California. I know you're doing business with a lot of cannabis companies in Napa Valley.
Napa Valley is my hometown. I was born there, and so I'm delighted to say that it's now becoming quite the leader, as it probably should be in the cannabis world, but certainly of that high grade product. I'm a member of a company called ESI Logistics that's headquartered there. The founding team there is formerly of NakedWines.com, a very successful direct-to-consumer play. There's Fume Napa, which is a really cool consumer brand. They're doing a variety of outdoor grows in Lake County and Napa, with a dispensary perhaps on the horizon, including some chocolates and et cetera, and it's very Napa-centric. The Coppola family is also doing a brand, I'm excited to say, using some of the Godfather IP, which is exciting.
Do you know the name of this company?
Offhand, no, I do not.
That's a good one. I would like to check into this later. We're going to be going up to Napa Valley soon to visit some of these facilities and farms. We'll be sure to get some great footage for you all. What else is going on here in the California marketplace? Tell us something we don't know.
I think that a lot of people mistake California for being just a place to grow pot. Every single county or region has a ethos, and I think people underestimate that. You know, Cathedral City got and still does, it gets a lot of evangelism because it was just so receptive to cannabis companies from a regulatory perspective. But quite frankly, I think it's been one of the worst places to grow pot.
Why is that?
A, you got to do it indoor, which I don't think is going to be sustainable. B, the power demand I don't think is sustainable. And C, from a logistics perspective, it's not the best place to try to move product.
Well, I used to live down there for years, and I know it gets to about 120 degrees Fahrenheit in the summer.
Right.
It's very, very hot down there. Here in Monterey County, we have consistent weather with long growing days, and the perfect temperature for growing.
And we can get higher yields and perhaps even be able to harvest at a higher ratio.
Well, it seems to me that where you can grow good wine grapes, you can grow good cannabis.
Yes, but you don't want to grow them next to each other.
No, you don't. So
find caveat there.
Here in Monterey County, there's that new system being implemented. It's the appellation grow, where smaller farmers will be able to grow outdoor farms up in the mountains at higher elevations, like we've been doing it for generations.
I'm really excited about this from an outdoor perspective. I think this is splendid. Obviously, Big Sur should get its claim to fame on a legitimate level at scale. And so you can walk into any dispensary in California and find your Big Sur brand.
Well, this is Big Sur behind us here. Big Sur is synonymous with the best cannabis in the world. It's been growing here in these mountains for many, many, many generations. And this is where cannabis was refined. Then it was taken up to Humboldt County, then to Mendocino County.
Right.
So Big Sur really put cannabis on the California into everyone's pockets.
Absolutely. You know? And it's like you correlate wine to Napa Valley or to Champagne, France. And this is the same. This is absolutely the same, and so I hope that we in the industry pay tribute to that effort that our ancestors, as it were, did for the industry and creating good product.
Well, one thing I've noticed that if you want to grow good cannabis, you have to have quality soil. Good soil makes for good cannabis. A lot of people are cutting corners using second-grade soil and not treating the soil correctly, and they're not able to get the cannabis to grow correctly. Are you seeing this too?
I am. I'd say some novice operators are trying to cut corners on a variety of levels, but you know, generally speaking, that'll weed itself out, as it were. Justin,
I see.
I have no problem with that.
Tell us more that we don't know about the U.S. marketplace for cannabis.
I'm really delighted to see that more and more states are coming online. Michigan, for example, is a very exciting market. New Jersey is my favorite market coming online as we speak right now. TerraTech has got a phenomenal play there. TerraTech is a California-based company with heavy retail operations in Las Vegas. but overall, I think the U.S. market really needs more time to work out the kinks and for private capital to be deployed and work through the ecosystem here. I am not anxious for federal legalization. I'm perfectly happy being in Prohibition era, and really that was the founding principle of our company, Poundstone Holdings.
I see. Well, it definitely puts you in a first mover advantage position where you're able to have boots on the ground in all these states. That's brilliant. I want to talk about the taxing in California.
Sure.
We have the highest taxing on cannabis in probably the world. You know, what is it, a third?
I mean, we're looking at upwards of 30%.
30%?
Which in reality translate to more like 50% because of the 280E rules and a variety of tax issues as far as write-offs, et cetera, that we're not able to claim or take advantage of.
But then in other cities like San Francisco, you have additional taxes like the AIDS tax. And so you end up paying almost $100 for an eighth of weed out of a dispensary in San Francisco when you can get that same eighth of weed for $20 on the street corner.
Admittedly, I have a very conservative fiscal view of all this stuff. And so I'm not fond of heavily taxing such an industry in such infancy. And unfortunately or fortunately, I think that's keeping the black market somewhat solvent. But as we migrate away from all this, I think that regulators will eventually, I hope, figure this all out and give some relief.
Who is regulating the industry? Who's watching the watchers? Who's watching out that the testing facilities aren't being compromised?
So my perspective is that the distributors are, as an operator in the supply chain, are the ones that are responsible for the testing, right?
Okay.
That's critical. Second, and part of the issue is that a lot of these cannabis operators who are cultivators still want to distribute. So as I see it, I think that there's a partnership there between distributors and testing labs by requirement, by law, that will force this to work itself out.
Okay, and so now we have the hemp bill passing the Senate right now. That's going to open the doors for large-scale production of hemp in every state in the union. How's this going to play out?
I hope, just like in Tennessee where they were growing tobacco, we should be doing the same here in California where it doesn't make sense to grow almonds anymore for whatever reason, including trade taxes. We should be looking at adopting this crop substantially, and as I've said before, San Diego is going to be probably the leader in this as it relates to hemp in California.
From what I know, there's two types of industrial hemp. There's the hemp that's used for the fiber and the hemp that's used for the seeds, the oils. And so you basically, as a hemp farmer, you want to pick one or the other, and then you need to find a place to process it.
Right.
And so do you see processing places coming online to bring this all together?
They do this in the Midwest. I'm a big fan of the concept, but it's all about the infrastructure, right? It's about the refinement. The petroleum industry has the same thing. You rarely find a petroleum producer who also has a refinery.
Who do you see as the number 1 and 2 hemp players in the United States?
That's a very good question. I'd say Charlotte's Web would be one of my first choices.
Yep.
And second, I'd have to say that that's yet to be seen. I'd say there's too many people battling for second, which means they don't qualify yet.
Okay. I've been following Hemp Incorporated very closely as an American player. I like what they're doing. Let's talk about what else is going on. What are you seeing happening on a daily level? Things are changing so fast here in California. The pressure is on. You see people walking around with briefcases full of money trying to make deals, and the deals are being taken place. So what's going on here?
I think that the Canadians have brought their checkbooks to town, and they are looking to write checks left and right to buy real assets because they've got to justify the stock prices that they have, and that's their model. I think folks like Nutritional High are a perfect example of doing a hell of a job with their M&A strategy, especially here in California. That's at least the aspect of their business I'm most familiar with. We have a local attorney here, Aaron Johnson, who sits on their board of directors and has personally handled most of those transactions. I'd further say that the industry is transforming. We're adopting new practices, best practice. We're learning about food safety. We're learning about agriculture safety. We are adopting. And most of these companies and operators have a hell of a learning curve in front of them, but it's part of the startup nature of the business.
Well, it's funny you say, as this is a new industry, it's also an industry that's been around for almost 10,000 years, you know, but it's been in the black market. So here we are, we're entering the legal world of cannabis. And I'm seeing too much greed in this space. There's a lot of people that have no cannabis background. They don't know anything about the medicinal benefits of the cannabis, yet they think they can grow acres of it. They're not able to do it. They're probably going to end up losing out, I would imagine.
I would hope so. I mean, that's capitalism for you. There has to be a winner and there has to be a loser.
Amen. Let's talk about the fact that Canadian companies had to divest their interest in U.S. companies in order to stay listed on the TXX. So now that we have kind of a wild west out here where a lot of American companies are making their plays, and we have Canadian companies backing them from Canada, such as Tidal Royalty, companies like this. I'm very intrigued in how much action is taking place on a daily basis here.
I think all of these companies are doing a hell of a job evangelizing themselves. And so I think, it's at the top of every month, they probably get together with their PR team and they load up a bunch of press releases and get ready to knock them out as they close these deals.
Yes.
Good for them, and it's if it bleeds, it reads, right?
I believe it so. Well, listen, we're going to leave it there for now. Maxwell, thank you again for taking time to come on the show today.
Appreciate it.
We wish you all the best.
So
James, Ed, and all our friends and fans around the world, we'll see you on the next episode.
Smoke weed every day.
James, Ed, and all our friends and fans around the world, we'll see you on the next episode.
Smoke weed every day.
Smoke weed every day, Ed. Do you take that advice to heart?
Yeah, well, I used to. I smoked so much weed that
you kind of lost your marbles a bit.
You ever notice that when you smoke weed, you like smoking cigarettes too?
Yeah, actually, that was classics. Finish smoking a doob and fire up a butt.
Yeah.
And preferably a crack of beer.
And then a beer.
Yeah.
And then you say, geez, wouldn't mind having a joint.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again. Over and over and over again.
The next thing you know, it's 3 in the morning.
And then, yeah.
Boy, those were the days, eh?
Oh, Jesus. Wake up in the fog.
Yeah. Boy, that was fun, though.
Foggy.
Fun, foggy days.
Wasn't there a rapper by the name of Foggy?
Have you, Foggy? Rapper Foggy? DJ Foggy? Hip-hop MC Foggy? MC Foggy Doo? MC Doggy Doo? Foo-faroo?
Poo-peroo.
Poo-peroo. Anyways, Justin's knocking it out of the park again with his awesome little contribution. It looks like a beautiful place down there,
I think
right?
that this guy likes being in the entertainment business.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're going to really appreciate having him down in California come November. That's when we're going to come and see you, Justin. When the weather turns crappy here, then we'll be doing all the shows will be done from Monterey.
Yeah.
But so let's get back to our task at hand. I see that I have accidentally closed my NDI, which we'll have to open up back up here. There we go.
Yeah, lots of action here in the world of
action.
Mary Jane.
World of action.
Look at this. Kronos up $2.14 and up 16%.
Yeah. Let's see who's the big performer in the large caps here.
Tilray.
Well, Tilray, I'm glad Tilray's not on any of our indexes because that would so skew the index.
Skew it?
And I don't know about you, Ed, but I don't consider Tilray's valuation to be a member of the realm we refer to as reality.
Yeah.
It's just
because the float's so...
Well, it's just such a contrived valuation. There's no value, there's no correlation between value and price. The value of that...
Did you see the press release they made today? Probably not.
No, I haven't. What press release?
They came out and said basically that they have been given approval, U.S. approval, to take a marijuana seed, a bud. I don't know what they're taking, but they're going to do these tests at the university, at a California university, to determine the efficacy. Determine a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's the only news I saw, and the stock's up $30.
Yeah. Well, look
Jesus. Gee, Jesus
Here's
Christo.
our large caps today. Oh, there we go. Kronos Group added 16% today, up $2.12.
Look at. Now, you can't help but notice there's one red number there.
Oxley.
And how many shares are in Oxley?
Billions.
600 million.
600 million?
Now, so, again, there's this relationship between, we talked about Tilray.
Tilray.
Talk about Tilray, and you know that the float's very tightly controlled. And here's Oxley, which isn't very controlled. Oxley's the only one that's down, so maybe there's something to be said about having a tight float. Just saying.
I think that if all of the mining companies, if everybody was forced to hold as much stock back from trading as Tilray has done voluntarily, all of the mining stocks, mining would be a better business to be in. There'd be a better industry. Everybody likes to complain about the price of the commodities, but it's the usuriousness and the treatment of investors by some of these companies that more or less they've built the boat in which they now find themselves rowing. Not true in all cases, but Rick Rule used to make quite great hay out of the administrative line of the balance sheet. So
now what's the give me the category again for to be included in this group?
See, this is all Canadian listed companies trading with a market cap above 500 million.
500 million to 1 billion?
No, anything over 500 million. So
really?
Yeah. So
wow.
If we reload this thing, it will.
So Afri's up 5%. What's Aurora today?
So it defaults
Aurora's
to by size
8%.
of market cap. Yeah, Aurora's up 8.62% on the persistent.
So that's an
rumor mill.
all-time high here on the index.
Yeah, this is the first time it's ever been that high.
Yeah.
That's quite incredible. I mean, look at the variation between Thursday, September 13th.
Now what's this here? Oh, okay. You got something hidden there.
It was.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
It closed. What day was this? It went below 9,000. 9,825 it closed at on Friday, September the 14th. And today, here it is at 11,050. That's quite incredible.
Yeah. Well, oh, by the way, I know we don't like to deviate too much from the marijuana sector, but you know what happened in the copper space last night?
No.
About 1 in the morning, copper started to plunge, and it got under $2.60 a pound.
Really?
And then it reversed, and it's now well above $2.70 a pound. So, yeah, there we go. Now we're going to punch up. We're going to see what kind of
copper 273.25.
Yeah, and that's look it up 8 cents. That's a monster move today. That's up 3% for a commodity. Gold's down, silver's down, platinum's up. Anyway, just thought I'd bring that out because I as you know, I have a position in Crown Mining.
Oh, you do still?
Yeah. Well, who am I going to sell it to?
You could sell it to me.
Why don't you sell it?
I've got $50.
To who? To who?
Yeah. No, it's a painful.
Hey,
time
did you hear that new word that someone sent me today?
Yes, you did. Send it to me. What was the word, Ed?
Ultra crepidarian.
Yeah, I can't even remember.
Ultra crepidarian. Ultra crepidarian.
Ultra crepidarian.
Yeah, and it means a person who's pretty knowledgeable in certain areas, who takes his so-called knowledge and he likes to assume that because he knows something in this area, he can talk about other areas, but he knows nothing about those areas. Like if you're an
ultra crepidarian.
Ultra crepidarian, yeah.
Oh, that's
some people we know are ultra.
I think
Hollywood people are ultra crepidarian.
Really?
Well,
Hollywood people.
They make money and they got a lot of money, so all of a sudden.
Well, if you look around, let's take Bay Street for example. How many self-perceived genii are there on Bay Street who think because they listen to somebody's advice?
We're gonna have to learn to say that word a little
faster,
a little smoother,
more off the cuff. Ultra crepidarian. I don't think we're going to use that word too much after today, Ed. You know why? I think it's too hard to remember. And plus, here's what we usually say: that guy's a know-it-all.
Ultra crepidarian.
The word of the day.
Anyway. Okay. Well, I'm impressed with Kronos.
Yeah.
I hope our boys at Citron aren't too short, but I suspect they are.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We talked to a mining company today, and this guy has a type of deposit that has previously never been found on the North American continent. And we're talking about stratiform copper. And here's what our friend Kirill Muggerman had to say. Hey, welcome back. My guest in this segment is Kirill Muggerman. He is the CEO of Kintavar Exploration, trading on the TSX Venture under the symbol KTR. Kirill, welcome to our show.
Thank you, James.
So, Kirill, tell me about the project that Kintavar is exploring.
So, Kintavar is exploring a stratiform copper, the project in Quebec.
Stratiform copper?
Yeah, stratiform, not usual for this part of the world.
Right. So, where else in the world are there stratiform copper deposits?
So, the two most known ones are in the DRC. You've got the big discovery there by Robert Friedland, and then you've got the one in Poland that KGHM has been mining, I don't know, for 10, 20, 30, 40 years now. It's a project that starts in Germany and goes all the way into Poland.
Really?
That's how big they are.
So this is a characteristic of stratiform copper deposits, is that they go through their countries in length?
Well, it was part of a sedimentary basin before, within an ocean, and now they're mineralized, and it's usually one long unit that just you follow and follow and follow. In our case, it's actually a bit different, and that's why it never was discovered here before, because instead of being a flat unit that you can go and mine underground, this has been folded as part of the Granville orogeny. So instead, those flat units have basically got folded and refolded, and that's what we found on surface.
That's the stratiform.
That's the stratiform, but it doesn't look necessarily stratiform like in Europe.
Sure. Okay. So sounds like this has the potential to be a pretty significant deposit then.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when we found it, we had no idea. The original discovery by Noranda was basically they thought it was a skarn deposit. Mm-hmm. And when we started trenching it, we realized right away that mineralogically it looks totally different from a skarn. And then we were able to connect that to another showing 15 kilometers to the north, and then to another showing in between those two. And then another trench opened up, and another trench opened up. Next thing you know, we saw that it's all part of the same sedimentary basin. So the entire sedimentary basin, the Michi, is roughly 30 kilometers long by 10, 15 kilometers wide, but it has been folded. It was probably originally a couple of 100 kilometers long.
Really? So might yet find extensions to it in Quebec.
Maybe we did already.
Yeah. So tell me, how have you financed exploration to date?
Look, so I put Kintavar public in March of last year, 2017. A little financing of $2 million to really get the things going. We started doing exploration. We came up with a stratiform model. It was, let's say, not too many people took us seriously. Then we financed another $1 million in December of last year. We started drilling, and in January we drilled what became the discovery drill hole, 120 meters of 0.31% copper, no, 120 meters of 0.34% copper, then 130 meters of 0.31% copper. We got one drill hole of 206 meters of 0.2% copper. So I mean, really things started adding up quickly without us even targeting specific zones. I mean, we were just trying to put things together. Right. Now, since then, we financed $10 million based on the success of the winter drilling program. Out of that $10.2 million, half came from several Quebec institutions. The Caisse de Dépôt invested over almost $4 million into that deal. The other Quebec institutions participated. That's all hard cash. We did over $7 million out of the $10 million. So you usually see the opposite, mostly flow through and a little bit of hard cash.
Right.
And we did all this hard cash.
Huh, so now I guess the plan is to drill the crap out of it.
Yeah, so we focused on drilling since June. We drilled now 44 drill holes for a total of just under 9,000 meters.
Okay.
We published the results for 11 drill holes. Out of this, we got a brand new mineralized zone, Irene, that just got announced yesterday. Another drill hole, the best drill hole by far, gave us 82 meters of 0.4. That was announced a couple of weeks ago, and I've got 33 more holes to go. We even drilled one hole for pure metallurgy. So we twinned one of the previous mineralized holes, and we are sending that off for metallurgical work to make sure copper and silver are nicely recoverable at the same time.
Sure, and you brought a sample with you.
Absolutely. I mean, you can't argue when the mineralogy is just so visual, and you can see here bornite mineralization, and this grab sample is from one of the northern sections of Nasigan, and that is grading of that's grading at 5% plus copper.
Huh, and this is a grab sample from surface.
That's a grab sample from a trench that we opened up this summer. Was one of the exciting discoveries of Nasigan South. Highest grab sample there was 9% copper and 0.8 grams per ton gold, 100 grams per ton silver. We channeled that. That gave us, I believe, 6 or 8 meters of around 0.8. Yeah, 8 meters of 0.8 percent copper. I mean, we've been finding zones every other week. We were finding a new zone, basically.
Really?
So.
Wow. Where exactly in Quebec is this?
That's 4.5 hours north of Montreal. Okay. So that you start driving as if you're driving towards Val-d'Or.
Right.
But then you take a road to the right, and you go into what's traditionally known today as a forestry region near Mont-Laurier.
Right.
There is no mining exploration. The closest exploration project that we have near us is a graphite company. So it's really not traditional exploration ground.
Right. Okay. Interesting. So infrastructure.
Infrastructure. So look, we have. The roads literally bring you straight to the project. Yep. 4.5 hours if you drive from the south, 5 hours if you drive from the northern portion. Logging roads, a full hauling road maintained by the logging companies. I've got 3 camps on site. One camp has 150 people capacity, another camp around 15-20 people, and the third one around 30-40 people capacity. And those are camps that I can buy or just come there, rent it, and use that for the next month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it is. One of them we've been permanently renting, and they have power. So the camp with the 150 people, they brought their power line in 2013.
Wow. So it sounds like it's time for a JV with a major.
Let's just say it's been very active.
Right, right. Okay, so no major mining companies have yet participated in a meaningful, significant way.
They have not participated in the financing, absolutely.
Interesting. Well, that's quite exciting. Is that the only project in the company? Is this the main focus?
That's the main focus. So that's by far the flagship of the company. We cleaned up the property a little bit by buying out all the royalties. We bought the royalty in the southern portion on the Sherlock area for $50,000 in shares. So now the entire sedimentary basin is royalty free.
Really, no NSR.
No NSR.
Oh, well, that's attractive. Very interesting. So, what are the big plans going forward?
So look, the objective was we have 3 corridors. Every corridor is 7 kilometers apart, roughly. And you have to work all of them because every area will have its own nicer and thicker mineralized areas. On Sherlock, we managed to demonstrate already 4.5 kilometers of continuity of mineralization, strike length.
Wow.
So now we are infilling. We are kind of taking it block by block. We are trying to get a block every 500 meters. And so Sherlock and Toby, they form one area. Then we got the Watson area that has another 500 meters. Elementary was an unbelievable discovery this summer. That's the one that took the extended mineralization to all the way to 4.5 kilometers. Then in the north you have Nasigan, that's a corridor by itself. There we roughly got 2 kilometers of strike length mineralization. And the corridor in the center, Hispana, we didn't really focus on it. But now, as soon as the hunting season is over, mid-October, we are putting the drill rig on Hispana and putting the first few drill holes there. So the idea is we need to expand, and that's why we are going slowly, one drill rig at a time, working on a Sherlock, let's say drilling. In the meantime, a team of geos and technicians are doing trenching in one of the other corridors. So that way I'm expanding everything without necessarily just kind of over-focusing in. We don't want to focus in right now. We need to show how big it is.
How many shares out?
80 million shares, and fully diluted, it's 99 million shares.
99 million. And at what price was the last financing? When did you do it?
The last financing was at 40 cents plus half a warrant.
Okay.
That closed on June 27. Flow through, we did a little bit less than $3 million on that one, and that was at 54 cents, no warrants.
And so, how much of that is left?
I have to look into it, but I'd say probably 1.5 million left in the flow through at least.
So you'll be doing another raise soon.
Look, we'll see. I mean, there were so many site visits during the summer, so we'll see where everything goes.
Right.
I mean, in total, out of that's what flow through money is left. But in total, the company has right now $8 million.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Fantastic, Kirill. That's a great introduction to the story. We're going to follow with interest, have you back after
Absolutely.
some more drilling, and we'll see how you're doing. Thanks for joining me today.
Excellent. Thank you very much, James.
Well, what do you think?
I
back
think
in the
there's
copper game?
opportunities. Well, you know what? It's still, I wouldn't get too excited yet. But if copper gets going here, gets back over 3, I think 3 is psychological.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was up big today, 3%. But
Yeah.
it's been weak. But copper's used up every day.
Copper's used every day, Ed. Well, we're at 115 folks now on our YouTube channel, so hello to Garrett Turner. DEA approval. What? Tilray is killing it today based off the DEA approval. We don't even know what that means. Let's go look at Tilray's press releases.
Drug Enforcement Agency.
Yeah, well, that's Tilray. Let's see. Let's just see here. Updates. Is that what they mean by press releases? ir.tilray.com. Let's go have a look at Tilray's IR department, see how it stacks up. Last trade, $149 a share, Ed.
151.
USD. Tilray receives approval from U.S. government to import a medical cannabis study drug for a clinical trial at the University of California, San Diego for medicinal research. I would like to have a word with whoever put that headline together and talk to them about the merits of brevity, especially as it pertains to...
You're suggesting that isn't very succinct?
No, that's a bit of a... If that was a sentence, it
Not
would be a
terse at
run-on
all.
sentence.
Not
as
terse.
As a headline, it's not at all terse.
Not
it's,
terse.
It's rather verbose.
Verbose?
Verbose.
Look like a...
So Tilray did receive U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration approval to import pharmaceutical-grade cannabis produced by Tilray into the United States for a clinical trial focused on essential tremor. Do you know what essential tremor is, Ed?
It's got something to do with the shakes.
Okay, that's how boy, that would be rough.
I think if you drink a lot, you end up with essential tremor.
I think only after you stop drinking for a couple days. Yeah.
Hey, look at this.
Steady Eddie.
Steady Eddie.
Steady
Give us an
Eddie.
example of Steady Eddie. Give us a sample of Shaky James.
Shaky? Are you kidding me?
Steady? Shaky.
Boy, that's the great thing about smoking cannabis. You don't have those side effects.
No, you know what? You don't have the delirious tremens.
No, you don't have the recessive peregrinations of neurons and right.
Sure.
Where are we going with that?
Yeah, where are we going with that?
You know, where are we going with that?
I don't know and I don't care.
You can get numb in your hair.
Jeez.
You know, I'm going to write a song for Lady Gaga later this weekend. I'm going to Jamaica to write a song for Lady Gaga.
You're going to Jamaica, man?
I'm going to Jamaica, man. I'm going to party with the Rastaman and see how the herb is down there.
The herb, I think the
herb down there.
The quality of the herb Ain't as good as the quality of the herb from the Vancouver area. The Vancouver herb.
Well, you know, Jamaican mountain-grown marijuana used to be something of quite high stature in the world of consumer cannabis.
I don't know. I never thought it was
But
so
the question,
shit hot.
well, here's the thing. In Canada, some guy would say, you'd be like, what do you got? I got Jamaican. It's like, how do we know it's Jamaican? How do we know you didn't grow that in your basement? Like, so that's my point, is like they used to say, oh, that hash is black Afghani or black, you know, Lebanese blonde, and it'd be
Well, let me ask you this. Let's say you have a house on the side of a mountain.
All right, in Jamaica?
In Jamaica, and
Right.
you have a basement in that house.
Yeah.
And you grow some pot. Does that mean that pot was grown on the side of a mountain?
Technically, yeah.
There you go.
So it could be grown in the basement
There
on
you
the
go.
side of the mountain.
Or let's say you live in the flats, but you put up pictures of mountains all around the plants. The plants looking around, sees the pictures of the mountains and thinking, hey, I'm mountain grown.
Where do you come up with this stuff, man?
And the mommy goes, son, it's time for you to leave the house.
Doesn't the mother go, son, those are just paintings, get a grip?
No. The mother goes, we fooled you, son.
Oh, you know we're going to have a...
You know what? The son may leave the house and the mother may go, you know what? Your plan worked, Dad. He's out of the house now. Let's party.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyways, so we have lots of people talking on our show.
Yeah.
So Tilray got DEA approval to conduct a study on tremors.
Is that worth anything? Yeah, it's 30 fucking bucks a share.
Yeah, well, 30
effing bucks
30,
a share.
100,
I meant to say
150.
bucking bucks.
150.
Yeah, but
Where do you get 30?
Well, because it was 120 yesterday. So
I see. So that's worth $30 more per share.
Just think if they make another announcement tomorrow.
This thing could be $250.
You know what they should be doing? They should make an announcement every day.
Well, about a Coca-Cola company, for example.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, the rumor mill. This industry is so insane. You know, you remember the .com era?
Oh, yeah.
And did you get? How did you do in that? Did you have any?
Well, I'll tell you, I
experiences?
shorted Rambus when they came out with the results. The
Rambus.
stock had already moved from 30 to 60. I shorted it at 60. I shorted just before they came out with their earnings at 60 something, and I think I ended up covering around 125.
Oh, really?
So you know what that cost me?
What?
Cost me $1 million.
Whoa.
Yeah, just $1 million.
That's pretty heavy.
Yeah, well, it was only 600 US, but with the currency exchange and everything, about $1 million.
Yeah.
And needless to say, I didn't have it, which caused a bit of a problem. Why are you guys so angry? Can't you take a joke? I'm just kidding. Is this real money?
So how did you cover it?
Well, let's just say, you know, I had a good relationship with management, so they decided to say, okay, you stay here and you pay, you keep working for nothing, and you'll pay off your debt. And I said, well, if you think I'm working for nothing, you got another thing coming.
And how did that go over?
Well, I said, okay, we'll split it. So you work for half of what you normally work for, and the other half we'd use to pay off the debt, which I ended up paying about half of it.
Really?
And then I said, I'm out of here. I've had enough. That was one of my low points. Another one of my low, let's say a valley in my career. A valley. Anyway, that was a long time ago. That would have been 2000. 18 years ago, no problem. Here I am.
Amazing.
Look at this, Tilray 152.88, right at the highs. Yeah. And the market's going to close in 6 minutes.
Wow.
What do you think of that? How much Tilray do you own, James?
Tilray? I don't own any Tilray.
Why wouldn't you?
I'm too pregnant with juju.
Now, any new scuttlebutt there in the juju?
Not any scuttlebutt that I'm aware of.
I got to believe they got a lot of deals lined up.
Well, you know, I have had extensive conversations with management, and without sounding too forward-looking or bullish on their account, because I am long, so I don't really feel like I can talk about it more than what's been released to the public. But these guys sure talk a mean game, and it sounds like they know what they're doing. So the takeaway for me was that the chief operating officer is a guy named Neil Pomeroy. He was the head of the leveraged buyout division for Credit Suisse in New York for 10 years. And then he bought the leveraged buyout division out of Credit Suisse and took it private, and it still operates to this day. So you've got some guys, and then Steve Gormley, the CEO, he raised a big chunk of money for the Tuatara Capital guys. In fact, it's in the press. And those guys did a $98 million raise for cannabis in the US.
Really?
So between the two of them, they've got demonstrated blue blood leverage buyout experience, and they've got demonstrated access to capital, and as is evidenced by the market, they have the ability to make the market move. So those are the three main ingredients I look for when it comes to cannabis.
Yeah.
Now, how they're going to execute, what they're going to execute on, that just all remains to be seen. As somebody once said to me, all will be revealed.
In due time.
In due course. So until further notice, we give them the benefit of the doubt and continue to be a shareholder.
Yeah.
But on Tilray, no. Tilray at $30, I was thinking, there's no way I'm going to start chasing this stock around.
And we were sitting here, and they came out with their quarterly loss. I was going to say they came out with their earnings report, but there were no earnings, so that would be a misnomer.
Right.
So they came out with their quarterly loss.
Technically, you're right. There were no earnings.
No, their sales were up.
Right. I was confusing earnings with revenue momentarily, as I sometimes do.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's a rookie move.
Yeah. Well, what can I say?
Not saying you're a rookie.
Sometimes I feel like a rookie.
Bit of a tyro.
Sometimes, when I buy high and I sell low, I feel like a rookie.
Yeah.
How about you? How about shorting a stock that only rockets higher? Now that's a bit embarrassing. Those are the days I go out drinking.
That's a bit of an oucher.
That's right.
So what I wanted to say, I forgot that one too. Yeah.
Go ahead. You sure quitting drinking is a positive thing for you?
Well, if I can forget some of the bad things that I remember.
Forget the bad, remember the good.
Yeah. The good, the bad, the ugly.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. Woo! Listen, we should start a Whistling Dixie orchestra. Everybody.
There's a.
What do you think of that?
There's a bar in Ireland called the Whistling Oyster.
The Whistling Oyster.
Yeah, and there's a big oyster in the bar that whistles. It's a real big one. In fact, when Mike Blady was there, he sent me a video of it. We should play it I should send it to you, and you should get it.
Whoa. What are you talking about, Whistling Oyster?
Yeah, Whistling Oyster. I'm not making this up.
It sounds like you must be.
Okay, I'll send it to you.
You got a Whistling Oyster?
I got a Whistling Oyster.
You've seen a Whistling Oyster?
Not in the flesh.
Okay. And how does an oyster whistle underwater?
No, this oyster lives above in a hotel, in a bar.
This oyster lives in a bar.
Yeah. This oyster is kept alive by generous, copious quantities of Guinness.
It's a Guinness oyster. This oyster drinks Guinness and whistles.
And whistles, yeah.
Well, just a matter of time until I start whistling.
You want to see it?
I want to see it. Now, this sounds like it must be some kind of a contraption.
No, I don't know. This is a real... now, if it is a contraption, then I'm a monkey's uncle.
You are a monkey's uncle.
But I got to tell you, this thing is the funniest thing I've ever seen. I don't know if I could find it here in time for the show to...
Doom, 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 doom.
Oh, here we go.
Doom.
I'm going to send it to you. Now you got to somehow. Okay, I'm sending it to you on WhatsApp. Okay.
Yeah. Market's closed, Ed.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about our.
Okay, let's see where the action was today.
Let's see. Well, let's start with the CSE, because what are we going to see when we look at the CSE? Look at that. Huge is in the way again of our. There's Green Thumb. What? Green Thumb? Look at that.
Up 820.
up $8.20 to $32.05. Now here's what's happening. Here's what's happening is that guys are starting to look for companies that
have tight floats.
Companies that are now going to do the same thing as what's happening with Tilray. So everybody's looking for the next Tilray.
Yeah.
And if it's U.S. based, but I don't know. I don't understand Green Thumb Industries. I mean, they did $250 million in revenue.
They did?
Yeah. Look at
Market
this press
cap,
release.
look at this.
Or sorry. They increased their second quarter revenue, increased 291% to 13 million. Where did I get 250?
Okay, look at this. Look at this. Here's a EBITDA was a negative 4.7 for the quarter. Adjusted EBITDA, look at this, was $500,000. And how much the market cap? That's you know what, and I'm saying this tongue in cheek, but sooner or later this is going to catch up to in the meantime,
well, see, these are the companies that are going to crash hardest when the reversal occurs.
You remember when we were sitting here up until the Constellation news came out, and we kept saying these things just keep pointing south. Like every day, the onslaught was relentless. Like it was down, down. And a really good friend of mine was extremely bearish, saying that these things are going a lot lower. And you know what?
He was wrong.
He was wrong, and now that same fellow, I'm not going to mention any names, thinks they're going much higher.
It's time to sell.
I don't know. Well, but look at this. Look at this. Market cap.
Yeah.
This thing's generating $500,000 a quarter in cash. Look at that thing. It's flying. How many shares outstanding? Nothing.
18 million.
Nothing.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. That's why this thing can put on $8.20 in a single day. The question is...
Look at this. Look at this. Look at what the hell's going on here.
I know, Ed. It's the cannabis market for you.
Jesus. Jesus Cristo. Well, I got to tell you.
Got to tell me what?
I'm in awe of this whole thing. This machine has just got me...
hypnotized?
Hypnotized, yeah. I'm a little stunned.
A little stunned, are you?
The stun gun has hit me.
The stun gun. Sounds like a lot of fun. Anyways, so, yeah.
Well, let's see here.
Commodities. Oil. Where did it go? Crude. $70 a barrel. WTI.
Wow.
Brent crude. Do you remember when the Brent and the WTI weren't they almost touching?
Yeah. Look at copper.
Look at gold. We looked here 20 minutes ago. It was 1,200. It's now 1198. I mean.
Well, okay, but let's look at the COMEX here. This is what I look at. That compares. That's the spot. Yeah.
Well, 1202 on COMEX December delivery contract. 1198 spot.
Oh.
And they say that the futures market is a price discovery mechanism.
China tariff retaliation will hit $60 billion of U.S. goods.
That's funny. Didn't our friend with the artificial mop?
Here we go. Here's a good one. This is what you like to see. Venezuela's Maduro feasts on steak, cigars. Does he eat in the cigars?
Well, apparently he's feasting on steak and cigars. I wouldn't think that would be too tasty. Steak and cigars.
Look at this one.
China's grip on rare earths may have proven too strong for Trump. See, this is the thing that our friend down there in the White House, the only problem with is, I mean, I'm sure he's a very nice guy. He just doesn't have a brain. And he's like driven hither and thither by public sentiment, and the damage this guy is doing to the global order of things is just unprecedented and will linger for many years after he's gone.
You know what I could never understand, no matter who's in government, your life really never changes that much.
Right.
In other words, a lot of it's psychological, right? Like you feel like shit because you don't like the guy, or you like him. If you like him, you think, hey, this guy's great, but really what changes? if they jack taxes up, that's what changes, and that can piss you off. But he dropped taxes huge in the States.
Yeah.
So that's why they like him, or some of them people like him. The politicians don't like him because they're worried that their pensions aren't going to get paid. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
They just keep printing money down there now, don't they?
You know what?
Keep printing that money.
As they do, and all central banks are printing.
Have you ever been to Jamaica?
Yes, I have.
Do you like Jamaica?
Yeah, there's a great place there called Rick's Cafe in
Montego Bay?
You've been there.
I haven't. I've never been, but I'm going on Thursday.
Rick's Cafe in Montego Bay.
Rick's Cafe,
Now,
Montego Bay. What's up with Rick's Cafe?
Well, there's, as I recall, I could be mistaken, but it seemed to me there was lots of pot there and lots of women.
Lots of women.
Like women that were...
So it's not the kind of place you go to do hookers and blow, but women in pot. Sorry, was that my outside voice? I'm not supposed to say some things on this show. I just cannot help myself. I don't know what is wrong.
You're a realist.
If my mother was here, she would wash my mouth out with soap.
Oh my God, what kind of soap?
I don't think she'd be particularly concerned about the brand of the soap, but knowing my mother, it would be Ivory soap.
Yeah.
Did you know that there's these birds that live in the mountains in Alberta called whiskey jacks that eat soap?
Whiskey jacks.
Yeah. Very clean birds.
Jesus, very clean bird.
Yeah, and their discourse is without any expletives. Ed, you know, I had a guy here today from Jamaica, Wayne Isaac. You know Wayne Isaac?
I know Wayne. I met him years ago, and I can't remember how I met him.
So Wayne is heading a company called Green Stripe Brands, and they're a Jamaican cannabis play. And here's what he had to say. Hey, welcome back. My guest this segment is Wayne Isaacs. He's CEO of Green Stripe Naturals, a private company that will yet soon go public. Welcome, Wayne.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
Sure. Tell me about Green Stripe Naturals.
Well, Green Stripe is a company that was formed over the past year or so. The company was really born out of my curiosity with respect to how the cannabis business was operating in Canada and how that could be translated to opportunities coming out of Jamaica. As most people will know and recognize, Jamaica is one of the few countries in the world with a national cannabis brand. So in light of the fact that there was so much attention being paid to cannabis here in Toronto, I wanted to make sure that some of the light was shed on Jamaica, my home country. I am Jamaican Canadian. And want to make sure that that the national branding of Jamaica and the superior cannabis in Jamaica, would have access, to markets all over the world.
Mm-hmm. So when you say a national cannabis brand, you mean the idea that cannabis is kind of thought of as a national product of Jamaica?
That's exactly what I mean. That's exactly what
okay,
I mean. Yeah.
Can't argue with you there.
I've been very fortunate in that I've traveled, a great deal of the world throughout my career, and every time I mention that I'm from Jamaica, usually one of the first questions that people will ask is, I've heard that there's some really good cannabis in Jamaica.
Well, I'm going to go down there and find out on Thursday for myself.
Well,
so
I hope you do.
I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so then is the opportunity basically characterized by a large export market or a large domestic market, medical, recreational? What's the configuration?
A little bit of everything. What we're looking at right now for our company focus, initially we'll be looking at doing business domestically, simply because the export laws in Jamaica haven't been quite defined yet. Okay, so there's there is some delay right now with the Jamaican government in terms of getting a properly defined export protocol in place. So for the meantime, what we're going to be doing is really servicing the domestic community, primarily those high traffic tourist areas in Jamaica.
Okay. So is there currently recreational laws in place?
No, there is no recreational law in Jamaica. There is no recreational cannabis use in Jamaica. Okay,
that sounds like a complete contradiction to me from what I know.
Well, a lot of people think that recreational cannabis is legal in Jamaica. It is not. Every Jamaican is allowed to grow 5 plants, and they can use those 5 plants for their own purposes. Okay, those purposes may be recreational, medicinal, or sacramental. But there is no real recreational use law in Jamaica that says you're permitted to use cannabis recreationally. What it has been is that it's significantly decriminalized. Okay, so if you are found with cannabis, that would exceed, for example, your personal use amount. Then that could be construed as being contrary to the law. But there is no law that says there's recreational use of cannabis in Jamaica.
And this is the first time I've ever heard cannabis use described as sacramental. Maybe some of my audience doesn't quite understand what that means, especially in the Jamaican context. Could you elaborate on that?
I could, and I'll try to do it some justice. But sacramental use of cannabis really is something that is more concentrated around the Rastafarian communities. Okay, where they grow cannabis and they often use cannabis as a sacrament in their religious practices. Okay, so some people, depending on what form of religious practice they may have, they may grow cannabis strictly for the reason of offering up to their deities.
Right.
Okay?
So do Jamaicans who are Rastafarians essentially, do they get a free pass if they're found with cannabis?
The sacramental laws, if you're a member of certain recognized churches, Rastafarian churches in Jamaica, the cannabis laws allow you to grow and transport and consume cannabis under your sacramental rights.
I see. Interesting. So now what is the growth profile of your operation in Jamaica? At this point, what's it going to look like in 12 months, 24 months?
Well, right now what we've done is we've recently acquired 5 conditional licenses in Jamaica. That's a full spectrum of cannabis licensing that's available in Jamaica. We have a cultivation license, a processing license, R&D license, transportation license, and a dispensary license. Okay. Right now, what we're doing is we're building out the cultivation part of the business. We've spent the last, I would say, 6 to 8 weeks or so building it out. We've constructed 5 structures on the premises, and we're really trying to get those premises now compliant with what the Cannabis Licensing Authority in Jamaica requires to grant us a final license to grow cannabis.
Very interesting. So then your anticipation and your expectation, I gather, is that there will be export laws in place in due course.
Oh, absolutely. I think Jamaica must put export laws in place. I think it is coming. It's a little bit slow coming, just simply because there has to be considerations given to the number of different jurisdictions that you could potentially export to. So the government, I think, is trying to make sure that there are allowances made within the export regime to accommodate those import criteria from other jurisdictions.
Sure. And Red Stripe is a nationally or internationally recognized beer brand. Is Green Stripe associated with Red Stripe?
Green Stripe is not associated with this Red Stripe, but we are hoping to have that international cannabis brand, very much like Red Stripe has the international beer brand.
Sure. And interesting, maybe a potential acquisition down the road.
Well, we wouldn't rule it out.
Right, for sure. Okay, so then is a domestic market, there's 2.9 million people resident there.
Correct.
What portion of them are known to be cannabis consumers?
It's hard to say, because there aren't really, any real reliable statistics on that. But what I can tell you is just from my, sort of anecdotal information experience, a great number of Jamaicans are cannabis users, but not necessarily cannabis smokers, right? Like a lot of older people will use cannabis in things like teas, okay, to help with their pains and their aches.
Sure.
Some people will use it, again, for various medicinal purposes, but I would say a good portion of the population probably in some way, shape, or form may use cannabis, but also, what you have to keep in mind is that, culturally and traditionally, it's a very accepted form of medicinal treatment in Jamaica, right? So not all use of cannabis goes towards, getting a high or anything like that. A lot of it goes towards, curing ailments or basically, quality of life issues.
Sure. And you've already got some agreements in place to sell your product to the Ganja Growers and Producers Association of Jamaica.
No, that's the other way around, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Ganja Growers and Producers Association of Jamaica is the largest and most powerful advocacy and political group for all things cannabis in Jamaica. When I decided to go back to Jamaica and start looking at opportunities in Jamaica, they were one of the first groups that I met with. Developed a very good relationship with the executive members of the association, and you know, in the end, what we decided was that, you know, Green Stripe would actually get a supply agreement from the Ganja Growers Association, whereby they would supply us with certain quantities of cannabis on a pre-order basis, so that we can distribute that cannabis not only just in the local markets, but also for international distribution purposes as well.
I see. So you're not actually planning to be the grower. You're going to partner with growers and sell their product for them.
Partially, but we also have our own cultivation facility. We have a 20-acre facility in Clarendon that we're building out right now, and you know, we're expecting to put that into full cultivation, partial cultivation by the end of the year, full cultivation within the next 12 months.
Okay, and when do you anticipate Green Stripe seeking a public listing?
Well, I'm hoping it'll be by the end of the year.
Okay.
You know, because, you know, we've put a great deal of effort into building this company. We've got a fantastic shareholder base who have been very, very supportive. You know, there's some liquidity in the markets right now, so, you know, we're hoping to capitalize on all of those factors and hopefully get a listing by the end of the year.
Well, fantastic. Well, that's a great introduction, Wayne. We'll look forward to seeing you when you get up and running and public. And thank you for joining me today.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting you caught up on the story and updating the public on our progress in Jamaica. And thank you very much for having me.
Pleasure. And where did Ed go? Ed is missing. Ed is now back. There he is. Nothing.
Did I miss much?
Yeah, no, you know, you didn't miss much. We missed you. What did you think of the Green Stripe?
Well, I think, you know, the idea of having a toke on a green stripe while drinking a red stripe is a good idea.
So you can have a green stripe in one hand and a red stripe in the other hand, and you're smoking, you're drinking.
Now, what's the color if you mix green and red? Is it blue?
If you mix green and red,
or blue and red's green, I think.
Boy, oh boy, that's just too.
No, but there is. What is it? Yellow and blue.
Oh
Yellow and blue is green, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Here's somebody saying, why not get into RIV and AUSA? So that's funny, because Rivers is going public on Thursday, and AUSA is now public. And that's Aurora's American bastard cousin. I wonder how, you know, we haven't really looked at how it did today.
Which one, AUSA?
AUSA.
You know what, now there you go, AUSA, AUSA.
Boy, Ed, nothing slow about you, is there?
You see that the last three letters there are USA.
One day intraday trades. Oh, there is nothing to see here. Don't know why that is. Okay, it must have traded somewhere. Let's go look on the AUSA website here. Or I mean on the actually their website is the CSE. Shoot, there's James Bowington calling me from Canaccord, and I can't take the call, James, because I'm doing a show. Really big show. Can somebody call James and let him know that I'm doing the show, and I'll call him later? Thank you. Let's see. Boy, there's a lot of garbage in the market these days. Just a ton of garbage. Okay, AUSA on the CSE. Oh, what the hell? The symbol's not coming up anywhere. Oh, shares will be listed on September 18th, 2018. What's the date today? September 18th. Okay, so maybe they're just today was their first day, or they didn't trade today. Hard to tell.
You know what? I got pretty good. I got a pretty good connection.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What?
Just gonna check it.
On the AUSA?
Yeah.
Okay, this should be good, Ed. What do
Let's see what I got. Let's see. Let's just see.
Let's just see SE, what AUSA is doing today. So this was announced on the 14th that it would start trading today, but for some reason it is not coming up.
AUSA, is that in Canada?
That's on the CSE, Ed. That was the whole point of doing the deal. AUSA, Australia's Cannabis. Yeah, there's no price. There's no quote. Is it probably because the market just closed? Maybe.
Yeah.
So
No, it didn't trade today.
Didn't trade today. So they announced it was going to trade and it didn't trade. They put out news and it didn't trade. Well, it's hard to get it to not trade on the news if you don't put out the news.
Opens tomorrow.
Opens tomorrow.
Maybe
says
it's
Alex in the
maybe it's
control
really
room.
thin, and there's just no buyers.
There's no market.
Hey.
No bid, no ask.
You know what? You feeling a little lonely there, Plato?
Plato? My name's not Plato, I'm Socrates.
Oh, Jesus. Jeez, I thought you were Plato.
Play-Doh, I think he's made of Play-Doh.
If he was made of Plato,
Then he'd be...
then we could, we could.
Oh, I can't believe Tilray and I'm not in it. Ah!
You know why I keep hitting my head against the wall?
Because you're a bird that can't see?
No.
You're
No.
You're
not going to guess.
How do you know?
Because I can tell.
What do you mean?
You're going on the wrong tangent here.
Okay. Do I want to know why you keep hitting your head on the wall?
Yeah.
Because you're trying to break down the wall?
No.
That's using your
No.
head?
See?
No.
No.
Come on.
Because when I stop, it feels so good.
That's crazy talk, Ed.
That's crazy talk.
That's just crazy talk.
Crazy
You know,
talk.
I think that this week we're going to have some fun with the simulcast from Jamaica. I'll be down
Yeah.
there. You'll be up here.
Now, will I be able to recognize your voice? Because you'll be talking in Jamaican, obviously.
No, man. I don't speak well.
Yeah, you do? No, you do.
I could, man, but I don't think so, man.
Are you going to roll a fatty?
I'm going to roll a fatty and smoke a big fat one.
Would that be a blunt?
That would be a blunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start off with a spliff,
Spliff and then a blunt.
then a blunt.
No, and then I'm going to play some boom, boom, boom.
What's the national instrument of Jamaica?
Didgeridoo.
That's Australia.
Nope.
Yep.
Jamaica too. The national instrument of Jamaica? I don't know. I have no clue. I say
I know
I
what
have
the
not
national
yet.
instrument of Canada is.
What's that?
43101.
That's funny, Ed. That's
Pretty
funny.
good, eh?
That's a good one.
Yeah,
See now.
National instrument. See?
Now you stop drinking and you're the witty one. And me, I'm just like,
I'm the pity one.
yeah.
Hey, Bond, we got to pity you.
There's going to be some beer drinking going on today. You know where the venue of choice is today?
King Taps.
King Taps. So yeah, I think the cannabis thing is still got a lot of steam in it. I was out for dinner with a bunch of big-time investors in the space, and they say, as far as they're concerned, in the U.S., it's not even the top of the first inning yet.
Yeah.
And in the Canada, probably the guy who's written more checks than anybody I know
Yeah.
said that he feels that Canada's, in the third inning of where this whole thing's
Yeah.
going.
Yeah, probably is because I'm nowhere in it.
Yeah. Is it passing you by, Ed?
Yeah.
Is the cannabis boom passing you by? Are you watching people all around you make tons of money while you somehow miraculously keep losing money?
Well, it's not even losing. You gotta have money in the game to lose.
Well, but that's just, no, not necessarily. Soft. If you have no money and the game is on,
You're
already
talking about
losing.
opportunity cost.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Some people say that you actually, when you lose money, we just say,
How does that work again? Ed?
Okay, so losing money is one thing, but losing potential profit drives you even nuttier.
You mean
if
selling too soon?
If you sell too soon and it keeps going, you made money, but you're just pissed off because you could have made more.
Yeah.
But what the hell's more? More of what?
More of the filthy lucre.
Is and the word lucre. What's another word that has the word lucre in it?
Euchre.
Lucrative.
Lucrative.
There you
Is
go.
that where that comes from?
Yeah.
That's where that term comes from.
Yeah.
Lucrative comes from lucre.
Well, lucrative, yeah.
In reference to
lucrative,
filthy lucre.
a very lucrative transaction.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to edify.
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 And edify.
Edify.
Well, that's very edifying, Ed.
Yeah.
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 Special head.
Nothing wrong with a little special head once in a while. What?
One might even argue that it should be a required component of a healthy diet. There should be a recommended daily allowance of special head.
Well, that's what we try to give you on this show.
Special head?
If we were in Quebec, you'd be introducing me as special head. Special head.
Are you implying that the French Canadian has a propensity to not pronounce his H's?
Is H's?
H's?
H's? Are you the Pink Panther?
The Pink Panther.
Room?
Ba-doom.
A room?
Boom.
Are you in the room?
Ba-doom. Is that your dog?
Geez, I guess that guy who played the Pink Panther was really a character, eh?
Peter Sellers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know who the guy?
Peter Sellers?
No. You know who the guy was? One of the main guys in Monty Python. John Cleese.
Yes.
John Cleese is going to be on our show.
When?
Next month, by the looks of things. Ed, next month.
So what am I doing that day?
You're going to be over here with me, and we're going to try to have one-liners with John Cleese.
That's what I want to hear.
John Cleese is going to make our show fun.
You're going to be here too.
Yeah. Plato. Boy, see? Drunk.
Jesus, boy.
He's
Stay up. Hey, you've been smoking that.
now stay down there. Boy, I think Plato's been shorting some of our stocks.
He's feeling a little down.
Yeah, that's right. And now he's been squeezed.
Well, so when you leaving for Jamaica?
Jamaica on Thursday morning.
And I guess you're flying commercial flight, coach?
No, in fact, some friends
Well,
have chartered a private.
Are you taking a boat?
No, we're taking a giant bird.
All right, wait a minute. Now, are you telling me you're going by private jet?
That's what they're telling me. They're trying to.
Now, do you?
No, it's not my private jet.
No.
So as far as I'm concerned, it's a public jet.
Public to you?
Well, because I don't own it. So
how many people are going?
My understanding is 25 to 30 individuals will be on this trip.
Yeah.
So I think it's a charter. Like it's got to be. It can't be any like.
Do you think you'll be drinking on this trip?
Actually, the itinerary I was sent made it clear that drinks would be served from the moment of takeoff until landing later that day.
Is that called, like, when you say takeoff, is that like wheels up?
Wheels up, I guess, is what the real smartasses who travel in private jets all the time
Wheels
say.
up.
Yes.
Yeah. I think there's actually a brand of jet rental called Wheels Up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that NetJet subsidiary or something?
Something like that. Yeah. You know what?
Do you ever travel by private jet, Ed?
As a matter of fact, my indoctrination to private jet travel was with Bill Trimble's father.
Really?
No, Jordan Trimble's father. Bill.
Right.
Way back when he owned Apex Ski Mountain. And I didn't realize this until much after the fact. My doctor and I were traveling in Vancouver. We went to see Bill Trimble.
Bill travel with a doctor?
Yeah, a personal doctor. Yeah, personal physician.
Personal physician. So wait, you don't necessarily travel by private jet, but you bring your personal physician everywhere with you?
As a matter of fact, I do.
Do you have a condition that requires your personal physician be present at all these various times?
What was the song? I have to check my condition to see what condition my condition was in.
Oh, man.
So anyway, Bill Trimble took us by private jet from Vancouver to Cranbrook, I believe, or Penticton, one or the other, and we went to Apex Mountain, and he took us for a day of skiing.
That's nice.
And you know what, I got to tell you, private jet's the way to go.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting a jet, but a little
light right now?
Well, they want money up front.
Well, keep buying
if I could put it on a credit card.
You can put it on a credit card. That'll be good.
I got about 20 cards, so I could put a little on each card.
Right.
What do you think?
Right. Oh, there you go. So Canopy Rivers is going to start trading on Thursday.
Any relation to Johnny Rivers?
No, but it's related to Canopy Growth Corp. In fact, Bruce is still the acting CEO.
Both of them.
Both of them. Bruce has got a lot on his plate right now. Have you noticed? He's a chairman of Martello Technologies, which was a high flyer, and now it's backed off a bit. He's the CEO of the largest marijuana company in the world by production.
Yes.
And he's the CEO acting of Canopy Rivers, which will start trading on Thursday. It's going to be a big week this week.
Yeah. And you know what? I mean, look, and this isn't just a general statement. Every time a company comes on with a lot of market cap, it dilutes the pool. Like there's only so much. Well, apparently not.
That's a brilliant statement, Ed.
I know, but you can only have so many companies. You can't have an unlimited amount of companies with $1 billion of market capitalization. At some point, the stable gets full.
I see. Ed, are we going to be back here tomorrow?
We're going to be back here tomorrow.
And Follow the Money is going to be here tomorrow. Carl Boyd and Brandon Cole.
We're going to be back here tomorrow, but I'm not so sure we're going to be back here on Thursday. I'm going to be here Thursday. You're not going to be here Thursday.
I'll be here Thursday, but I'll be up there.
In Jamaica. You'll be up here.
Talking to you from the mountains, man. Anyways, that was our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, do all those things. Subscribe to the newsletter if you really want to make some chicken. And we'll be back tomorrow with a brand new show.